Hey guys, welcome to Stylists Everyday. Today I'm going to teach you how to build this very simple toolbox. Now this is a very easy project you can do at your house, and you can challenge your kids to do these as well. You can build it for your dad for Father's Day, or just a simple gift. It's very easy to build. It's going to be used a lot. It's very enjoyable, simple process, and you can do this with very simple tools. Now don't get scared because I use power tools. I just did it to do it faster. Everything can be done with just a saw, with glue, and that's all you need. The whole build comes out of just one piece of 6 foot by 6 inches board, and it's 3/4 of an inch thick. Now I did use just pine because it's the cheapest. This build will cost you literally about $2 or $3. Now this dowel is actually a 1-inch dowel. That's a separate buy, but that's all you really need. So without further ado, let's get to the build. Hey guys, so to get this build started, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to measure out our pieces. Now the box that I am building is going to be a 17-inch long box, and it's going to be about 10 inches tall. So I need 2 side pieces of 17.5, one front and back about 10 inches, and one bottom for 17 inches. Now I am cutting my bottom just a little bit bigger, but I'm going to reduce it later. So this actually adds up to your whole entire 6 feet board. I did use a 6 foot by 6 inch wide, and it's a 3/4, and you can get everything done with that and just a dowel. I chose a 1 inch because it makes it a nice and beefy to grab on, and you're gonna use a little bit of about 18 or 19 inches of that. So the first thing is we're gonna measure our pieces and start our cuts. Now again, you can do all of this without power tools. It is a very simple project and you can just get it done real quick with power tools. But if you want to go old school or you don't have power tools, bring out your saw and get to hacking. Now the second thing we're going to do after we have our pieces is measure out where our dowel will go in. Grab your 2 10-inch pieces and measure. I measured about 1.5 inches down, and try to measure in the middle of the board and make my point there. Now to make your cutoffs from your sides, I measured 1 inch up and 1 inch down from the middle, and that way you just have a 2-inch top, and then chop off the sides, and I measured down about 4 inches down. So that's how I made my triangles on the side. And I'm gonna have some dog ears for the toolbox. Now to make sure you don't rip out your board, make sure you have another just scrap wood on the bottom while you're cutting your holes. You can cut these holes any way you like. I specifically have a Forstner bit, and that's what I used. Now this is what I was explaining, that we're going to measure 4 inches down and make a little dog ear cut. And it's just mainly for style. It's going to do a lot better of actually when you're going to try to get the tools out of the box. It gives you a lot of space, so it's just not all boxy. Once you get one down, just duplicate on the next. Make sure you're careful when you're cutting these sides, since they are at an angle. It might get a little tricky. If you are using a table saw or you're using a miter saw, you just transfer over your measurements to the other side and just make your cuts. After you have all your cuts ready, you do want to do a little dry assembly, make sure everything is right. And then after that, make sure you sand every single cut. Now I am going to give it a little bit of a round over on the top, just the top side, because it's going to make it nice and smooth and match everything else. Now the bottom and all the sides, we're going to leave it all nice. I did sand off just a little bit from each side that's going to be on the outside of the toolbox, just because I prefer that nice look onto the wood. Now make sure you do sand the hole that we drilled so the dowel goes in nicely. If your dowel does not go in nicely, you can always sand down a little bit from the dowel itself. Now to hold these together, I'm going to use two things. I'm going to use glue and brad nails. Now my toolbox is not going to be very heavy. It's more of just holding a couple things, so brad nails is going to be fine. If you're going to put a lot of weight, make sure you put some screws onto the bottom and the sides, because you don't want your toolbox to just fall. Now when you are going to drill, make sure you drill pilot holes. Pine just tends to split, so if you drill your pilot holes, you should be fine. Again, if you do not have power tools for your nails, you can just hammer and a nail. They do the same thing. Now, as I mentioned before, if your dowel does not fit nice and doesn't get through, just make sure you sand it down, or you can use a little persuasion tool. Now I did have a longer dowel in this situation. I just ended up cutting it and putting it together. Now I did give it a nice little sand on the dowel so it looks nice and it matches the round over and everything else, and you're good to go. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun building this. Now this is a great gift for Father's Day, or it's a great project to do with your kids. I encourage you to try it out. It is a lot of fun, and it turns out very nice. It truly does. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you tried it out and how it turned out. So guys, also I'm celebrating my 1-year anniversary on this channel. I do want to give a big thanks to everybody that has subscribed and that has followed me through. And if you can, let me know that in the comments the video that you like the most, or the first video that you found this channel with. I would love to read those comments, and I'll be commenting on everybody, giving you guys thanks, because again, I do this for you guys, and this is a hobby I enjoyed, and you guys just make it better. So again, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.